One of my favourite 20th century thinkers is Pitirim Sorokin, a former Harvard sociologist. Unfortunately, he's been largely forgotten, but I think some of his writing and research has real relevance to the present. Sorokin believed that the world needs more creative altruism, a term he used for describing people acting for the benefit of others in a creative or innovative way. Sorokin would surely appreciate the story of Akshaya Patra, an extraordinary example of creative altruism in action. About 15 years ago, a small group of people wondered how they could help improve the lives of children from disadvantaged backgrounds. They obviously thought of the importance of education, but instead of building a school or offering scholarships, they came up with a really incredible intention: that no child in India should be deprived of education because of hunger. If children and their parents know that a good, nutritious meal will be provided at lunchtime, then they are more likely to attend classes and at the same time improve their health. A few years later, the government of India actually were inspired by the scheme to set up the midday meal scheme, which now sees 120 million children getting a meal at school. Of those, 1.5 million are cooked and delivered by Akshaya Patra for less than 15-20 cents per meal. And they are delicious. I've been lucky enough to enjoy quite a few. The NGO is very professionally run, with initial funding from Mohandas Pai, followed by the Murthy family of Infosys, and now hundreds of thousands of donors from across India and the world. The second genius idea Akshaya Patra had was to innovate the way that they prepared their meals, given the challenge of the scale involved in their operations. So a single kitchen, for example, in Bangalore, prepares 150,000 meals every morning, which are then driven out piping hot to schools in the nearby area and village schools outside the city. Rather than a traditional kitchen where everything happens in a horizontal assembly line, they made their operation vertical. And like the Mangalyaan Mars mission, relied on gravity to assist them. Locally sourced and high-quality ingredients go in at the top of the building, where they move down a series of floors, cleaning, cooking, and eventually packing before going out to the vans for distribution. Akshaya Patra have even won awards for things like their annual statement, which is an absolutely beautiful thing, and again, we link to that in the further resources. Their goal is to provide 5 million meals a day by 2020. How many of the kinds of innovation that we introduced earlier can be used to describe this operation? We look forward to your contributions to the weekly discussions, but this week is your chance to do something a little more exciting. It's time for you to put your creativity to the test. Choose from one of the 6 exercises we list in the next section for our peer review assessment and demonstrate how much you've learnt so far. Inspire us with your ideas. I'm sure you're going to find it interesting, challenging, and we're looking forward to receiving your responses.